Hey there everyone and welcome. This is the Hearthstone Southeast Asia Legends Series number 15, casted by myself, Spell Ruler, and hosted by ESL. It's been a long time since I've casted this one, but I am back for Hearthstone Legends 15, and round 1 we have Ulster versus Jack. Jack on the bottom side, Ulster on the top side, also known as Rcak. Both players playing Hunter as their first class, so let's see how this one is gonna go. Looks like Jack has a little bit of a better starting handle with that knife juggler coming in, but of course Ulster does have that glaive Zuka, so he can sacrifice a little bit of health equipping that glaive Zuka and getting rid of that knife juggler without too many issues. Jack putting out that pressure already fairly early though, and leaving Ulster with not too many other options than the glaive Zuka. Of course, he could just go Haunted Creeper first to get a few spiders out on the field, because of course he does want to use that battle cry of the glaive Zuka, so he just passes turn with that one. Jack still with 2 mana now. He's probably going to bring out either his own Mad Scientist or his own Haunted Creeper. He's going to go for Mad Scientist to get a little bit of more pressure coming out. Ulster now dropped to 27. Second copy of Freezing Trap now being drawn. Now Ulster going to draw into that glaive Zuka, giving that spider a 2-1, getting rid of both minions on the field if he so chooses, but does decide to go for Faith, leaving that spider up. Now Jack with his explosive trap is going to be quite helpful later on the game. Misha being drawn, and Jack pretty happy about that one since he got a 4/4 taunter now out on the field. Ulster drawing a response in the form of the Iron Beak. Oh, of course he could just go Houndmaster and buff his Haunted Creeper up to a 4/3 and then ram into the Misha and still get 2 spiders in return. So it looks like he's gonna go for just that. Glaive Zuka still active though, is gonna give Jack a secret for his troubles though. Let's see which one of the two that is gonna be. It's gonna be Freezing Trap. Now Jack with 4 mana drops the Piloted Shredder as expected, using the most of his mana. But Ulster now, if he can manage to attack with the Houndmaster first, then he will get another use out of that one. Freezing Trap will trigger though, putting a 3 mana cost 1/1 spider in Ulster's hand, but clears the field completely for a full frontal attack. Now back to Jack, who is sitting at still at 4/3 Piloted Shredder, and now that Ulster has played his own secret, Jack has to be wondering what that is. Snake Trap, of course, is still a very real possibility, although kind of unlikely at this point in the game. So let's take a quick look at Jack's hand. Haunted Creeper, Freezing Trap, Explosive Trap, Animal Companion, and Kill Command. Now, Jack really can't lose momentum on the game right now as it is, but it is a little bit hard, especially with that Freezing Trap being in play. But Jack very wisely passes turn, does not want to trigger it just in case it is a Freezing Trap, so is going to attack with the Haunted Creeper first next turn, try and trigger the secret, see what it is, and scout it out. So does sacrifice a little bit of health for that, basically set back a turn, but using that turn to scout out what his opponent has right there. Now can play the 2 secrets of his own and still do 2 damage with that steady shot. And I'm kind of wondering if Jack wants to take the risk here, see if he's trading off his own Piloted Shredder for Ulster's Piloted Shredder. Of course, Ulster still has a little bit of card advantage in his hand. Freezing Trap is going to trigger, putting that Haunted Creeper back into Jack's hand. And Jack going to make the most out of his Piloted Shredder, just taking them down one by one. Animal Companion being dropped as well. Is it going to be another Misha? No, it's going to be a Huffer. So that's going to be another 4 damage landing onto Ulster, who draws into a Kill Command. No explosive traps for him to wipe out the field in one go, but he can drop a second Piloted Shredder and make some trades here and there. what he could also do is he could drop the Iron Beak Owl he has in his hand, silence that Pilot Shredder that Jack has, and then attack with his own Pilot Shredder into Jack's Pilot Shredder. But of course, seeing how Jack has played around his own Freezing Trap, he might want to play around it as well, and is seemingly going to do that with Unleash the Hounds. So Unleash the Hounds being dropped, Secret being triggered, Hound being pushed back. So that's both Freezing Traps gone for Jack. The Hound being played yet again. Time does move quickly. Playing that Return Hound yet again to clear out that fort to Huffer. Now back to Jack, who's going to play that Dr. Boom. 7 mana wasted, but gets the 2 Boombots out on the field. Still hasn't received the nerf that Dr. Boom, and has pretty much become one of the best staples in pretty much any deck now, except for like those really high-paced zoo decks. Now Ulster is looking at how much damage do I need to do to win this game. Answer is 14. Doesn't have a beast to back up that kill command though. So can only do a maximum of 12 damage at this point. Well, actually, with the Iron Beak Owl, I think he barely does not have enough though. So let's take a quick look. That is going to be 12 damage regardless. So Jack's gonna be sitting at 2 health, no matter how Ulster plays this out, I feel. Ulster gonna take his chances though. Drops a Pilot Shredder. Freezing Trap being played as well, and Ulster knows that if he can survive this turn, then he'll more than likely win the game. But it looks. First, we have to look what Jack's going to draw and how he's going to play this out. 12 is the magic number for Jack. And if Jack decides to attack with that Boombot first, then he will have won the game for the first round at the very least. Remember, this is Conquest mode, so once you win with a class, you're not allowed to play it anymore. This is a best of 5, so you need to win with every class. And Boombot going to be attacking, scouting out the Freezing Trap, and that clears the way completely for Jack, who goes straight for face, winning the first game of this best of 5. So congratulations to Jack having won with his Hunter. Can't play Hunter for the next couple of games though, so Ulster is free to switch up classes, so we're going to set up game 2 for you as fast as possible. In the meantime, don't go anywhere, we'll be right back.
Versus Uther. I will fight with honor.
You asked for it.
Hey there everyone, welcome back. This is game 2 in the best of 5 between Jack and Ulster. Jack having won the previous game with his Hunter. Now that class is eliminated from his pool since we are playing Conquest. So just to remind you quickly of the classes that both of the players are playing. Ulster is playing Mage, Paladin, and Hunter. Still needs to win with every single one of his classes. Jack playing with Hunter, Mage, and Rogue. His Hunter being eliminated since he won the previous game with it. So let's take a look at both players' opening hands. Knife Juggler, Muster for Battle, Consecration, and Shielded Mini-Bot for Ulster, and Mad Scientist, Loot Hoarder, Doomsayer, Arcane Intellect, and Ice Lance. So looks like Jack is playing Frost Mage. Or some variant of it. I just hope it's not the Stall Mage that has actually been played in the past. I have seen those very long, drawn-out games with that one. Arcane Intellect being used, draws into a Mad Scientist and Acolyte of Pain. Let's take a quick look at Jack's secret there. Ice Block already prepped for the fatal damage that might come in a couple of turns later. Muster for Battle coming out fairly early as well, just to flood the board as fast as possible and to get the most use of that Knife Juggler passive and another 1 damage landing. So Ulster probably has a good idea that Jack is in fact running Ice Block. Another Mad Scientist dropping on the field, and Loot Hoarder being dropped as well. Now Ulster, he can't just consecrate that if he wants to go just for the maximum amount of damage possible. I'm not too sure how Ulster wants to play this one out, whether he wants to give Jack cards or anything like that. Once Jack actually hits 5 mana, then Doomsayer Frost Nova is very much live. Ulster taking his time to think this one out. Ice Barrier going to be the card added with the Mad Scientist, and is instantly going to trigger, buffing Jack up to 29 health in total, but quickly being whittled down to about 23.
Reporting for duty.
Now Doomsayer Frost Nova is live, but whether he wants to play it right now, it's the question. With 5 mana, Fireball or either Acolyte of Pain could also just be a thing. Like, Jack still has that Ice Block to protect himself from lethal damage, but Ulster does have like a lot of low attack minions, so he can slowly whittle down Jack to the point where he's only sitting at 1 or 2 or 3 health, and then trigger the Ice Block, which is usually how you want to play it out against the mage like that. Doomsayer Frost Nova is going to be dropped though, so on the end, or at the start of Jack's turn rather, everything is going to go down. And looking at Ulster's hand, there's nothing really to take care of that one, so all he is going to do is just going to attack for 1 damage and replace his weapon with the true Silver Champion. Field being wiped out. Jack pretty happy about that as he drops the Emperor Forason out on the field. Iceland's being completely free right now. Acolyte of Pain 2 mana, Flame Strike 6, Fireball 3, Arcane Intellect 2. Ulster still having double Consecrating help in hand, but not really working out for him just yet. Alder Peacekeeper being used to drop the Emperor Force into 1 health. Not attacking, though. Another Ice Barrier being drawn by Jack. So Jack's pretty much waiting for... he's probably running Archmage Antonidas, I'd bet, but he's going to get so much value out of the Emperor Forason because he will get another 1 mana reduction on all the cards in his hand. And there it is, Archmage Antonidas being drawn alongside the Pyroblast. So Jack is pretty much setting up his finisher here. And the longer he can keep that Emperor Forason out on the field, the more value he'll get out of that one. Having a 6 mana Archmage Antonidas and a 2 mana Fireball, definitely really helpful. Now back to Ulster. Ulster is kind of fighting an uphill battle here, I guess. because Jack pretty much has the combo pieces out in his hand. His Emperor of Coruscant will fall though, but Jack can just survive so long with the ice block and the ice barrier. Can probably flame strike the entire board as well. Will give Ulster a minion though, but he will get so much value out of that flame strike if he does drop it. Frostbolt being pulled, so now he has that combo piece for the Ice Lance. And if I were Jack, I would probably be dropping that flame strike pretty much instantly, but there are still some other options like Acolyte of Pain, Fire Blast to see what card you're going to draw. You'll still have 5 mana left to flame strike away, but it does get you a little bit deeper into your deck, which is kind of what Jack's deck is doing. Wants to get like as many low mana costs cards as possible, so you can combo off Archmage and Tinnitus. There he is, the Patient Assassin, destroy any minion attack that damaged by his minion. Excuse me. Second ice block being drawn by Jack, so he can survive yet another turn. Captain Greenskin, give your weapon +1/+1. Actually, interesting to see Captain Greenskin being played. I haven't seen him played in forever. What feels like Ulster actually sacrificing one of his weapon durabilities to get rid of that Acolyte of Pain. Looks like Jack might just set up though. See, he was hovering over that Archmage and Tinnitus. Archmage, Fireball, Ice Lance, and Ice Lance would give him another 3 fireballs to work with. Instead is going to go for Cone of Cold. Still has an Ice Lance to play around with to destroy the Captain Greenskin should he want to, but instead goes for the Fireball straight to the face. 23 health remaining on Ulster. Fire Blast to follow that one up with as well. Jack still not playing at Archmage and Tinnitus, being very, very, very withholding with it. Ulster, of course, still having double Consecration in his hand. Can't take care of that one. And now that Jack sees the Sludge Belcher, very well played by Ulster, just setting up defensively. But now that Jack sees that one, he knows that he has to play around that one. Archmage and Tinnitus being dropped, and looks like Jack is going to go full on the offensive. 3 damage and another 8 damage going to land from the Ice Lances, and all the fireballs being added to Jack's hand is now sitting at a total of 4 fireballs. And with only 11 health remaining, I don't think that Ulster can do anything about that. Well played comes out. Sylvanas Windrunner being dropped. Consecration being revealed as well to show, hey, this is what I have in hand. But Jack just generating so much card advantage. And Emperor of Coruscant really helping out, staying alive longer than 1 turn on the field. And Jack can just double fireball to the face to finish Ulster off, and Jack is going to win the second game in this best of 5 in the first round.
Valera versus Rcak. Let the hunt begin.
Watch your back.
Job done.
Hey there everyone, welcome back to round 1 of the Southeast Asia Legend Series 15, hosted by ESL and casted by myself, Spellruler. This is game 3 between Jack and Ulster. Jack, now on his last class, Rogue, has to win one game with Rogue in the next 3 games to move on towards the next round. Ulster needs to still win a game with all of his classes, which are Mage, Paladin, and Hunter. So let's see how this one is going to turn out for both of these players. Looks like Jack is playing Oil Mage or Oil Rogue, if I'm not mistaken, from the cards in opening hands. Speaking of the cards in opening hands, Eagle Horn Bow, Knife Juggler, Haunted Creeper, Pilot Shredder in Ulster's hand, and a Haunted Creeper and Mad Scientist out on the field. Azure Drake, Deadly Poison, Shredder, Oil, Eviscerate, and Backstab for Jack. So it looks like Jack is going to go on the aggressive here, not really caring about the minions on Ulster's field for now, at the very least. Ulster going full on offensive here with all of the low value minions. Is playing the zoo version of Hunter here, still not using that Eagle Horn Bow or Knife Juggler, and Jack pretty much only reduced to playing one card at a time. This is not really a good matchup for the Rogue, I feel, if the Hunter manages to get momentum going on like this. Like, let's see what Jack got from that one. Whether for a friendly piece of ties gain some stats, but of course not being allowed to live on the field for long enough. Jack now drawing into a low feb that might help out a little bit, stalling out Ulster's plays here, but Ulster does have a Hunter's Mark to retaliate with that one. Instead goes for the Azure Drake to dig a little bit deeper in his deck, draws a Preparation. And Preparation Sprint might be something we see coming in the next couple of turns if Jack actually manages to pull that one. But in the meantime, Ulster is doing really well for himself with the assault happening here, and also has a secret to back him up, the Freezing Trap. So once that South Sea deckhand actually does hit and goes for the attack, then that Freezing Trap will be able to take care of that. Once South Sea deckhand is dropped, no secret triggered just yet. Jack just scouting out again. Has done this really well in the past couple of games, where he's just scouting out the secret. Backstab, he's dropped the Pilot Shredder, and he gets an Unstable Ghoul for that one. Pretty okay in this matchup, I'd say. Now Jack's kind of forced to play around the Taunter, and Ulster seems pretty happy about that one, but is going to use his combo pieces fairly early on. SI7 Agent and the Eviscerate being used to wipe out the field. Eviscerate even being used for that one, and now I see why. It's just to kill the spider so Jack could get maximum value out of that Unstable Ghoul, destroying everything on the field. Did cost him a lot of resources, but Jack seems pretty content with himself wiping out the field like that. Houndmaster being played early with no beast to back up. Ulster sitting at 17 right now. And Tinker Sharpsword Oil being pulled in. Kind of looking at it, not enough to finish it off. So sacrifices his last weapon durability. Brings out the low feb, and looks like he might go for a lethal play next turn, unless Ulster manages to get something out of that one. Ulster does get a Web Spinner, but the Kill Command 8 mana, Hunter's Mark 5 mana, and I don't see any way really for Ulster to win from this one, unless he Hunter's Mark the low feb and manages to get a Lucky Dagger out from the Knife Juggler. That's pretty much all that can happen at this point. Steady Shot being dropped here. Not going to draw the Web Sprint, and now Jack has lethal in his hand. Well played coming out. Preparation Oil and double Oil coming out. 4-2 Dagger and 8-5 low feb, 11-5 and 7-2. More than enough. Jack with a 3-0 sweep in the first round of the Southeast Asia Legend Series number 15. So congratulations to Jack with a 3-0 sweep in the first round of this in this Hearthstone Southeast Asia Legends series. We still have a lot of rounds coming up